So I come in the room, and we'd been with Michael Hayden and other members of equal height in the intelligence community, equal level. And I was most impressed always at the cool nature they had, their ability to do a 1-minute presentation as they would have to do with presidents every morning. And but the cool nature. And so when I came in the year late and I had everybody to myself, the phone went off, their buzzers went off, just before their tushes hit the seat. These two guys, Michael Hayden being one of them, and they got the message that Comey just let Hillary off the hook, and but essentially destroyed her life in other ways by what he said after what he said initially. And I'd only seen these guys be cool as a cucumber. And steam was coming out of their ears. Their faces turned red. They couldn't sit down. And these were the #1 guys in the ballgame. And I was just, fixed. And I immediately assumed, never asked them, but I assume I'm right, that the reason they were so incensed is their compatriots lost their careers. They had individuals in their world that lost their careers probably for some far less infraction than not knowing how to work the phone systems, etc. And so then the next year comes, it's January, February, when we have Spy Camp again. We're asking questions. One question I'll never forget was somebody said to Michael Hayden regarding Kim Jong-un and the North Korean missile crisis, are you more concerned about that than the Cuban Missile Crisis? And Michael, who was the Air Force general before he became the head of the CIA, he literally just answered the question in a very cool manner. And everybody, guys like him were just so calm. But he answered the question, what's the target? What's the target? Meaning, you shoot a missile, it's over, all of it. But what I couldn't get over was how calm they were. And I called my wife, Catherine, when it was over. And I said, I got to tell you, we ask all the questions that anybody would ask. What are you most afraid of? What areas are you most concerned about, et cetera? The Russian intervention, all of it. But they had a calm about them that made me not worry, because I had seen them not be calm a previous year. And I'd seen their human nature be exposed. Mm-hmm. So about 8 months after the inauguration, we're shooting in Richmond, Virginia. And this other individual who was in the room with Michael the same day that I had that initial experience with the phones, I took him aside in between while we were lighting, and I said, you remember that day a year ago and you guys got hot and everything, and I saw, that you're capable of getting hot. And then in January, you're calm as can be. I said, I was sort of fascinated with your calm as can be. Everybody else isn't calm. Why were you calm as can be? And he said, well, because I've spent my life in that Oval Office. A good portion of my life, every morning. And I know the difference between a candidate and a president. And I know once you're president, what happens once you're in that office. And I was certain 8 months ago that once that individual was seated in that office, the office would change the man. And I was wrong, and now I'm frightened.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that.
And it reminds me of a moment either the year before or 2 years before when Claire and I were walking back to the hotel in Georgetown after Spy Camp one day. And we're in silence. We're just exhausted from input. And we looked at each other, and I don't know whether we said the words or not, but what was said or not said was, that was more than we needed to know.